Welcome to a healthy living video blog at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
You know Aram.
Exciting, man. This is episode 101. I mean, we just started recently and
They keep piling up.
wow. All right, we have a very important episode for you today. We're going to talk about how you can get out of the rut. And a lot of people actually spend a lot of time in that unfortunate place.
Yep.
But before we do so, next episode is going to be about how to do a muscle ups on the ring. So we're going to go in the park and tear this thing apart.
Yeah, the whole idea with creating the muscle up, we all know that is one of those benchmark exercises that are hard as hell to do. I'm having a difficult time myself. But what we're going to do is, just show you what the exercise itself will be and then descend it down so you know all the progressions that you can practice through to help you build up to them, fairly easily.
Okay, let's talk about how you get our viewers, if any of you in a rut and want to get out, you want to have a better body, you want to have something better than you have. I'm sure everybody wants to have something better. How would you approach it, Ruben? As a coach, how would you approach that?
Well, this is not my personal philosophy, although I use it, but as I regards as philosophy, is because I believe that I read and heard about this in a CD series that I have from Brian
Tracy?
Brian Tracy. There you go, sorry. And he talks about reverse engineering. This is something the Japanese did back after World War II, in which they envision creating an object or a product or something that will help them move on forward, creating. And what they do is they start breaking it down and going in backward steps, which is very important because sometimes we say, well, Aram, I want to be able to, by the springtime I want to be down like to 185 pounds. All right, good luck. and so the goal is not 185 pounds. The goal will be to go from 200 to 199 to 198 to 197, and not to really have in mind those 185 because it could be almost like a haunting experience to say, well, I have this 15-pound gap that I have to break, and people find it difficult. So the thing is that what you do is that you go backwards one step at a time, and that's all you worry about. So instead of saying, well, I have to eat everything organic, he goes, no, how about just you eat something organic today if you don't eat anything, and maybe tomorrow, if you're lucky, there'll be 2 thins, and maybe in 3 days it'll be 3 thins, or in 3 days will be 2 thins. Yeah. The important thing is, one of my dearest friends, I talk to him all the time back in the Northeast. He says, dude, I haven't, I've been so caught up, working, that I have not time to go to the gym, and I feel really awful. And I said, Jose, how many times did you go to the gym last week? He goes, twice. I could only make it twice to the gym. He goes, 2. That's 200 times better than not going 1, So don't punish yourself for not being able to make it to the gym 3, 4, 5 times or whatever you have a schedule. Just go once. If you go once, it's double. Or you're 100% better than going none. So don't be too hard on yourself because we do this all the time. We kick our own asses, just being harder and harder and harder and harder on ourselves. And the trick is that the softer and the kinder and the more loving that you are with yourself, the easier it is to do other things.
Yeah, we talked about how it's important that people create what's called, I call them, a war strategies with themselves. So they go to war to their body. And it's important to create more of a love strategy. So what Ruben was saying, it's more like a love strategy.
Absolutely.
And start loving yourself and doing one step at a time. I think it's very important. It's actually important. For me personally, people have a lot of excuses. We just come up with a bunch of excuses. I have no time, I have no money, I don't know how to do it. I mean, there's about a gazillion of excuses that I've heard through my career. I'm sure you heard a whole lot too.
And not to take away from their credit, I've created a lot of excuses for myself all the time.
We do that all the time.
My job now is sometimes not to use excuses, but to actually break through those excuses as seeing what they are. They're just moments of weakness that we have. Okay. And the way to empower yourself from a moment of weakness is with a moment of self-love. It sounds very airy-fairy, very pink, very whatever, but it is the truth for me. It's my truth.
Yeah. So in order for you not to create any excuses, I recommend to take full responsibility to whatever happened to you up to this particular point upon yourself. So it is your responsibility. No excuses, nobody responsible for anything, there's no genetics involved, there's nobody else is on your way, it's all you. The minute that you recognize that it is within your power that's the minute you're gonna start changing things. So let's say you would want to start exercising, but you have extra weight. Just own it. Like, I done something to get myself to this condition.
Sure.
Or let's say you don't have any money, for example. You've done something to get yourself to that particular point. From that particular point, if you say, I can't do this, that's my responsibility, I got myself into it, now I can own it and start doing something for myself at this particular moment. So you start owning and you start moving in the right direction, just the way Ruben says, with one simple step at a time.
Absolutely.
Okay? Anything else you want to say?
I think that pretty much sums it up. As far as creating goals and creating motivation, and all this stems from within. Right? Don't look outside for all this motivation. It has to come from within. Otherwise, it's not true motivation. It's just excitement about what somebody else is doing. But that excitement wears off quickly. I think there's beautiful people out there that are actually teaching really good courses. My mentor, which I always will mention and love for the rest of my life, Paul Check. But Brian Tracy, I think the guy is phenomenal. I think he's right to the point, and he gets to the core of the issue. And when it comes to the task of creating goals and be motivated about achieving them, he's probably one of my favorites, along with Bob Proctor. That's another guy that I think is phenomenal, top notch.
Yeah, Anthony Robbins is excellent too. I studied with Christopher Howard, excellent courses too. One thing that I want to mention, and it works excellent for me, I find if you have somebody to be accountable to, that will make you do things. I've been known for burning bridges for myself personally. Even when I moved to, let's say, United States, I created pretty much a way that I cannot go back. For whatever reason, that makes me moving. As a coach myself, a lot of times clients pay me because they're accountable to me. So they, in a way, they create accountability, and that makes them going. So whatever it is, with our blog, man, this is accountability.
Yeah.
If you want to say something that you're gonna do and make sure you'll be held accountable, say it on the camera, put it on the internet, let people see it.
Absolutely.
And next thing you're gonna do, next day you're gonna get up and say, hey, I just said so on the camera. As a matter of fact, next episode, we'll make ourselves accountable for something. So watch it. Anything else?
Leave it at that.
Okay, we're just gonna leave you with 3 points. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Your future looks better already. And remember, if you share this video blog with your friends, their future is gonna be better too. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.